Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and we know that Chapter 35 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex dropped last month, and I want to talk about some theories. We have Amado, this guy. It's a little weird. He's playing like 40 chess at this point, and that's kind of what I want to talk about because he has a lot under his belt right now, especially with his new addition to his trope, which would be Kashin Koji, and I want to talk about some theories. I have went through and I outlined a few of them, and I want to talk about it because now not only does he have Boruto, now does he not only have Kawaki under his belt, now he has Kashin Koji, which would totally ruin Boruto's plans. So I have a few theories I actually want to talk about right now, and yeah, if you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I try really hard on these videos. So anyways, so first of all, let's break down Kashin Koji's ability. His ability slash jutsu is called the 10 Paths. Now, what is the 10 Paths itself? I'm sorry, I've been calling it 10 Paths. It's what is the 10 Directions? What is the 10 Directions called? It's basically the ability to look at the future possibilities of what could happen. It basically decides. Kashin Koji will see that in 5 seconds, I'm going to grab my drink from Duncan. He's seen that. He knew that was going to happen. But it's on the grander scale of things. Sorry, I need to do that. Water break. Anyways, and I think that Kawaki is actually kind of in the middle of this whole thing. And he has a lot to do with everything and a lot to do with what will be happening in the future and what I believe. Now, we know what Kashin Koji's ability is now, and we know that he is a clone of Jiraiya that was made from Amado, but what does this have to do? Why is this important, you might be asking? Well, before we get into that, we're gonna talk about who has the advantage, Amado or Kashin Koji. So let me establish this right now. So as we know, Kashin Koji basically has the most broken ability of all of them, which is the 10 Directions. And it's literally, it's not just seeing future. Nah, like literally anything can happen. It's seeing countless possible outcomes. So different timelines, different outcomes, different branching paths. Think Doctor Strange, like he can see like futures and he can go into different universes and different multiverses, and think like that. That's basically what Kashin Koji sees. He sees a lot of different things. So I actually have a few theories about Kashin Koji. He could learn Toad Stage pretty easily because I think he could. If you guys are interested in that, just let me know. I would be more than glad to talk about that. Anyways, so with that ability under his belt, I think that Kashin Koji is a pretty broken character, and he does know how to fight. He does know how to throw hands. Now, he's not as good as like Jiraiya in throwing hands, but he's like if Jiraiya was like perfect, basically. All right, now let's imagine Amado. This guy is also broken. He's one of the smartest characters in all of Boruto. Now let's imagine Amado. He's very smart, and he also creates on par with gods level cyborgs. I mean, he created Kawaki, and this guy literally has control to his karma because of Amado. I mean, that's crazy. And he also makes shutdown codes for all of his, so he can never be too safe. So that's definitely a huge factor in this as well. Now, if we put both of these together, you have a god-destroying cyborg with the power of a guy who can see into the future. What is she doing over there? What are you doing? Anyways, she's coming closer. She's gonna eat me. Hey, come up here. Yeah. Why'd you run away from me? And you're coming back. Come on. Okay, well, I guess she doesn't want to sit with me. Anyways, with that information, we have where my theory number 1 starts. This is called a cheat code timeline theory. So basically, with these two put together, it's saying that Amado will turn Kashin Koji into a timeline person. I mean, if you really think about it, this is honestly really smart, and this is what everybody's expecting. This is the most possible outcome. But I mean, if we put it into retrospect, every problem that Amado has right now will currently become solvable. I mean, with this, you need Kawaki alive? Ask Kashin Koji. You need a Kebi to be alive without destroying it? Ask Kashin Koji. You need the perfect sequence of events? Ask Kashin Koji. Imagine forcing Koji to see every timeline possible out there. I mean, and he could do it. I mean, there's thousands. I mean, millions, infinite. Imagine infinite futures out there that Kashin Koji is able to see, and Amado if anybody could do it, it would be Amado forcing Kashin Koji to do it. And that's what I find absolutely crazy. And honestly, I think he has a great drive to do it because honestly, his whole personality is about Akebi, reviving Akebi. And I guarantee you there's a future out there that Amado has revived Akebi, and there's a very good possibility that he would do it. And obviously we know that this guy won't stop at anything to revive Akebi. I mean, honestly, can you be too mad at the man, though? I mean, if you had the ability to see infinite futures, wouldn't you do the same thing? I mean, imagine I am a computer science student in college, and say I have a Calculus 2 test, and I don't like Calculus 2. So there's a possibility in a timeline out there that I'm like, man, this James gets a 100% on his Calculus 2 test, and he wrote it out. So he knows all of the answers. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to be like, I know this test. I know the questions that are going to be on this test. And I get a 100%. I mean, if you had the option to do that, wouldn't you do that? I have trouble believing that you wouldn't. And that is why we call it the cheat code timeline, because Amado will be using Kashin Koji to do whatever he needs to do. If he wants any work done, any successful work, well, he will be using Kashin Koji. And there is no other thing that he needs in his life because Kashin Koji will be used. It is a cyborg made by Amado that Amado will make into a more loyal servant. And I just believe that this is going to be very bad in future chapters. Our second theory is reprogramming Kashin Koji, and I also believe that this will happen as well. This one, honestly, I don't see anything good with happening because, as I said earlier, Kashin Koji is a cyborg. He is a living cyborg. So, and since he is this living cyborg that was also created by Amado, I don't see this going any good for Kashin Koji. We now know that Amado knows Kashin Koji's body the best, better than anybody else. And what does this have to do with anything? A lot of people actually are speculating that he's going to take Kashin Koji's body apart and reprogram his body into making him a loyal servant, like I was talking about earlier. Think about it. Kashin Koji helped Boruto in the future, and he helped Inojin in the future. So instead of that happening, Amado is going to train him to be helping him instead. Imagine the timeline becoming, how does Amado win? How will Akebi return? How does Kawaki survive? Suddenly, Kashin Koji stops becoming an ally. All of a sudden, he becomes a tool. A tactical supercomputer is what he is turning into. And honestly, I see this being a very likely future as well because Amado is not necessarily the most moral person we all know. Amado is that kind of uncle you see in the corner and he's like, hey, hold this firecracker in your hand while it blows up. You'll be fine. And you shouldn't do that to a kid because, I mean, it's not gonna blow your fingers off because it's a little firecracker, but that is morally just wrong. Or that's like going to the store and putting something in your pocket and just walking out. Hey, you're supposed to pay for that. Is it a big crime? No. Is anything gonna happen? Probably not. Is it morally wrong? Absolutely. This guy is the literal meaning of the end justifies the means. People suffer? That's fine. Lives get ruined? That's fine. As long as Akebi comes back, nothing else matters. And that is why Kawaki needs to be alive, if you do not know. And honestly, this future scares me a lot because Kashin Koji will no longer be helping Boruto. So I'm assuming Kashin Koji knew maybe something about this, and maybe he was better, and maybe he has like some type of anti-Amado or something like that, but I highly doubt it. Amado is way smarter than that. But honestly, this next theory is even crazier because what I have it named as is Harvesting Shibai Cells Theory. And honestly, this is quite crazy. So let's start talking about Shibai Otsutsuki. Shibai is the one above all. He is the craziest Otsutsuki out there. He's went through so many rebirths and reincarnations, he has gone beyond a physical body. He is so strong. And I have a lot of theories about Shibai itself. One of them theories is that Boruto is the reincarnate, but that will be another video if you guys would like. And honestly, anytime Shibai gets mentioned, guess what's happening? Shibai is a legend in Boruto. We don't know much about Shibai, but we're going to use as much as we do know about Shibai to talk about this theory. So if you guys do not know, Kashin Koji's 10 Directions ability is because of Shibai Otsutsuki's DNA, actually. This is a power of his that he got from Shibai from his DNA. And there are fans out there that are speculating that that Amado wants more than just to use Kashin Koji. They are speculating that they want his DNA so that Amado will have the 10 Directions ability. And I think that is honestly kind of crazy, but it makes sense. And here is why. There are speculations that Amado will be stealing DNA from Kashin Koji, and once he has them, guess who's also dangerous? Not just Kashin Koji, because who says that Amado needs to graft them on himself? Maybe he gives them to Kawaki. Maybe he uses them to create a perfect artificial karma. And we know he can do that because that is Kawaki's whole existence. Kawaki has the abilities because of his karma. His karma is not actually an Otsutsuki power anymore. It is an artificial karma. Number 3 is using them for Akebi's rebirth. I'm pretty sure this is a good possibility of happening as well because Shibai is the ultimate being. I'm sure that they could do something that would help. Now imagine that you combine a karma, which is part god, and merge that with the DNA of an actual god, like a godlike being with his DNA. Now that is crazy to believe and think about. Karma is the way to rewrite DNA itself. That is what happened to Boruto. That is why Boruto is not as much human as he is. He is no longer human. He is Otsutsuki all the way, besides the last 6%, obviously, but that's besides the point. The point is that it rewrites the DNA of that said individual into becoming Otsutsuki. Now imagine combining that with the DNA of an actual god. That is quite insane. You could potentially create something than a normal karma, and that is honestly terrifying to think about. Something artificial, something controllable, and something to revive Akebi, which is also a big possibility of this happening. And we already know it's possible. I mean, we have literally Exhibit A of Kawaki existing to be a human. He has the ability to create impossible, what we thought at least was impossible, because how the heck do you recreate a karma? How do you do that? Like, he is insanely smart, and that's, yeah. You might be asking, what does Kawaki have to do with any of this? I did mention it earlier in the video, but this will go over it better. Because obviously, Kawaki is not a mastermind. He's not the smartest book in the shelf. Oh, not even close. But he's going to be using Kawaki as a weapon. Kawaki as a hardware, and Koji as the software. That's basically the mouse to the computer. Now, Koji provides good information. Kawaki executes said information. That's like clicking an app on your phone and expecting it to open. You click the app and the app opened. That is exactly what this is talking about, what I am talking about. Because Amado needs Kawaki. Kawaki has karma. Kawaki has power. Kawaki is a very important person. And now Amado can control Kawaki's powers as well. So this is a very huge thing. And obviously Amado created Kawaki's karma, so he understands Kawaki very well. So he knows that he wants shortcuts. He knows that he wants powers. He knows that he wants Boruto gone. So what is Amado going to do? He's going to give him exactly what he wants. And obviously it's not going to be very hard to control Kawaki because all he needs to do is ask Kashin Koji, hey, how do I get this man to follow me? If he's having any trouble, which he probably won't because it's easy to manipulate. But what is he going to do? The best thing to do is obviously to ask Kashin Koji, hey, I need to get this guy under control. What do I do? Kashin Koji will This is how you do it. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He knows exactly how to control him now. He knows what words to say. He knows what actions to do. He knows exactly how to manipulate every single event out there. And that is also terrifying to think about, because you're not fighting with strength anymore. You're not fighting with predictions. You're not fighting with fighting intent. You are fighting with knowing what is going to happen, knowing the outcome, knowing that this person is going to hit you with the right hook. So you deflect with the right block and then go for a kidney jab. You know that that's going to happen, and you know how to win. You already knew the outcomes of what was going to happen. You watched the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight before it happened. You knew that Mike Tyson was going to lose. We knew everything that was going to happen. The next one is called the Koji Paradox. And honestly, this is one of my favorite theories because of mental warfare. And this is all Amado is good at doing, is mental warfare. Remember, Kashin Koji can see future possibilities. So maybe he's seen Amado was going to capture him. I mean, this is a possibility. We don't know. Maybe he let him get captured because we thought Kashin Koji would know. Wouldn't he see it happen? Unless Amado is an Otsutsuki and Kashin Koji can't tell what's going to happen when Otsutsukis are involved, because it's kind of the whole thing, but that's besides the point. So he let Amado capture him. Wouldn't he have already seen it happen though? And this creates a pretty big question out there. What if Koji just let himself get captured? What if it was intentional? What if Koji looked through countless futures and realized, man, I actually need Amado to win. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Kawaki get there. I'm going to let him capture me, and I'm going to let Amado take me. Because now we're having battle between smart guy and smarter guy. And honestly, this is a rough match of shogi, guys. This is what we were doing in the 4th Great Ninja War, where they were just playing shogi with people, and this is what's happening. They're on a 1v1 match. This is Magnus versus whatever the number 2 chess player is. I mean, imagine Amado just sitting there and being like, perfect, this is going just as planned. And Kashin Koji's like, I don't think so. I mean, I think I got this under control. And honestly, that's just crazy to think about. So let's put this all together. We have Amado using Kashin Koji to make a different cheat code timeline. With Theory 2, he rewrites Kashin Koji's DNA and makes him the puppet of seeing the future. Then he uses him to create Shibai cells, and then Amado harvests cells from Kashin Koji and makes them replicatable. So he puts them in Kawaki, or in himself. But what if all of this was just a ploy of Kashin Koji's plan? What if he's seen it in the future and he needs Amado to win? So he did it on purpose. And honestly, I feel like all of the pieces are falling in together. What if all of this is happening? What if he wanted it to happen on purpose? What if all 4 of these will happen? And what if he uses them to give to Boruto? Give Boruto the 10 paths ability or something of that sort, because he has Shibai cells and Amado is the only one that knows how to extract them. That would be quite crazy. And honestly, knowing Amado is out there and he is a very dangerous person. Kitty! Anyways. But I want to hear what you guys think. Do you guys think this is a far-fetched idea? Do you guys think this is a good idea? Do you guys think I missed any details? Do you guys think that Kashin Koji let himself get captured? I want to know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts below. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I am going to be making new videos soon. And without further ado, guys, I hope you guys have a great day.